Mike here. Glad you could join me. And online with me, I have the famous ArcherSage. How you doing, ArcherSage?
I'm doing good, Mike.
All right.
We're just talking about the billboard, and I actually haven't seen the footage yet, so I'm really anxious to see it.
Put up a billboard in Philadelphia, run by CBS News, and we're gonna show that after this. And Karlee Sunshine takes the drive out there and gets photos of this. So I'm going to put that up for you guys too. And really, I think this is what we need. We need to start advertising like this. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to start going out more and doing more advertisements. I actually had an idea that I was going to go and get like some baseballs, like some softballs, and write Flat Earth on it, and research Flat Earth. I was going to leave it at like some rec fields, some baseball fields. People go out to play. You always pick up the balls at the rec field, so they pick it up and have no choice but to see it. And something I was thinking about filming me doing as well.
That's not a bad idea. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, yeah. Leave it around different places, random places, not just in the city all the time, but yeah, just need to be more creative. Like IPS said.
Stand on the overpass, whipping through guys' windshield. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work good.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want me to say your real name, ArcherSage, or is it just going to be ArcherSage? What do you?
Oh yeah, you can just say ArcherSage for now.
Okay, I won't call you Dexter. I'm sorry. I said. But okay.
I will say my real name does start with A. So.
Okay. All right. But anyways. We were talking earlier today on Skype, about Mandela effect? What are your thoughts on that? Because you brought up, you brought up
start on that.
Yeah, you brought up one thing that did kind of get you, the Eisenhower dime.
Yeah. I mean, my mom, like I said, my mom was actually a school teacher, and for some reason, I've always had in my memory that Dwight Eisenhower was on the dime. But I don't want to get involved too much with the Mandela effect, because that's the reality I come from, you could say that, it used to be a globe, but now it's flat, and that's because, we switch realities. But no, it's there's too many things involved with the Mandela effect to point out the spelling of this or that. But yeah, there are a few things that, obviously people misremember, and but yeah, that is one of them. The Eisenhower dime I thought was an absolute mind blower. I was like, what? What do you mean he's not on the dime? And then when it's like Franklin Roosevelt's on the dime, well, I guess he's always been on the dime.
In my reality, but has he been in your reality?
I don't even know if Dwight Eisenhower exists in reality. I don't even know if he was ever president.
Been a Dwight Eisenhower in your reality. It's just
here's what happened. It's not Dwight Eisenhower. It's D. White Eisenhower.
Oh, D. White, like augmented, right?
Like D. White Eisenhower.
Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be Dwight on my channel, just like it's augmented. Amen.
Talking about augmented virtual reality?
No, it's augmented. Augmented's the newer virtual reality. It's
the reality where I come from is augmented.
Really? When did they change that?
Probably the same time they changed the Looney Tunes spelling from actually being spelled like a cartoon, TOON.
Now,
but no, of course they don't mess with anything important, like the important spellings, like like your name spelling changed or something like that.
Right, absolutely. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't become president in one of these realities, and a lot of people claim that it's CERN, NASA.
Cool, somebody came from like a reality, and they're like, where I come from, George Bush was never president or something like that. But no, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, because they'll know that's totally stupid. They're playing memory games. And our mind wants to go with the most familiar memory. We were talking about DITRH. DITRH, that's D-I-T-R-H, okay?
No, D-I-T-R-H.
D-I-T-R-H. David, very, very awesome Flat Earth YouTuber. But I used to call him Dearth. And David told me on Skype, he says, yeah, a lot of people say Dearth, but it's actually, the letters are reversed. It's DITRH. And so we could run a Mandela effect video going, yeah.
He's probably a special agent sent from the reality where there's a reality where like flat earthers are like, non-existent. He came into our reality to convert us, and we called his name change, so we know where he's really from.
Yeah, so they reversed the letters on his name, man. Yeah, and we could do that. We can do a video like that. Yeah, it used to be DITRH. Something happened. Something shifted. Now he's DITRH. I remember it was DITRH because that's a familiar thing. So the Mandela effect, it really
more likely that you changed realities than it is that you misremembered it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not that it's
That's
changed.
what they tell everybody. They actually make videos like, Vaseline. I know I'm in a new alternate reality because, Vaseline is spelled different now. No, what would be really cool is if Vaseline turned out to be like toothpaste or something,
What? It's not in your reality? It is in mine. I've been brushed with the wrong stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that, Stone Temple Pilots.
Petroleum jelly.
Wineskins used to be wineskins in the King James. Now it's bottles. These people are stupid because wineskins wasn't a term until about the late 1700s, early 1800s. I mean, the word wasn't even around. They used the English word bottle.
The new international versions, and many of them are intentionally changed to sound more modern.
Yeah, exactly. And anyways, it just shows how YouTubers can trick people into thinking they remember something they didn't to get subs. I guess that's the Mandela effect.
Now, there was one Mandela effect video called, it was about a hotel that popped up out of nowhere in a city this guy lived his whole life. And he drove past it every day, and nothing was there. And then one day it was there. It was like it was built really quickly, and you never noticed it being built. And he called the hotel manager and recorded the whole phone call. Then he talked about it, and he's like, this hotel wasn't here. And the guy's like, yeah, well, we've got that before, and we've heard people say that too. And then what's weird is the video disappeared. And everybody's like, where'd that video go? And then, I don't know, whoever it was, he probably filmed it, staged it himself, and then took it down. Like, oh, he must have went back to his original reality and brought the video with him.
Yeah, YouTube's so full it's so full of crap. Hey, did you see that curved water? Did you check that out?
You talking about the one with like the power lines?
Yeah, first time ever. First time ever. Somebody took a picture of curved water. Now,
and water can curve that much, in that short amount of a field of view as well.
Yeah, now NASA told us we needed to be 100 miles up, and then Tyson said the same thing. And see, that's the thing with these globe earthers; they don't even know their own science. So if something looks curved, and be honest with you, it looked like the area was flooded, so the water's probably running off. And according to Dr. Zack, he's already debunked this because a lot of it's just perspective. But these people will say that proves the Earth's curved, and there is no way possible we could even see the curvature of the Earth ground level like that. I did model tests from just like normal view.
You can show how you can make something disappear below a false horizon on a flat surface very easily. You can just film. You can put a camera on ground level and walk across your yard, and your feet will disappear.
No, really?
Yeah.
Does it hurt? I'm gonna check that out.
I know. Yeah, that must mean that if I walk another 100 yards, I must be sideways.
Yeah. Well, I did model test on a life-size ball, size of the Earth, and just ground level. If you look over the ball, life-size with 35 millimeter camera, there's no curve. Okay, you can't tell, and that's why when I'm looking, globe head finds curved water. No, the water's curved. Now, water did look curved.
Well, even the scale they provide, even supposedly from the space station, you still wouldn't see that much curve. I mean, you should see curve, but not as much as you would think.
Not at 200, not at 249 miles up or 400 kilometers up, no.
No, but you get these conflicting stories where pilots say, they say, yeah, I saw the curve. I've flown my whole life. I've seen the curve. And then you have people... what was his name? Was it Steve-O? Went on Joe Rogan show, said he saw it because he flew up and did like a skydive or something. Of course, the footage is obvious fisheye lens.
But he's taking acid.
And that's
I mean, he's probably on acid or
people
something.
Get so upset about about the fisheye lens thing. Like if you question it, they'll say, "So what's wrong with the fisheye lens?" I'm like, "Don't you know fisheye lenses curve straight lines?"
Well, your NASA video, the weather balloon, the Earth was curved, fisheye lens, and then it come all the way down the ground. And what did you see in the video that you put up?
It was the same exact curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even less curve. It's the same curve.
Right. So
because
they're on the ground. The ground's like whoop, like that. I mean, it's curved, right?
They're real small. In the desert.
Earth got smaller.
Did you see the one I just did where I compared a Apollo 7 image from low Earth orbit to a high altitude balloon shot, and it looks...
Yeah, that's the same with the STS Challenger launches.
That's what they do. They captured high altitude footage, and that's what they capture in the video to make it look like they're leaving the Earth. And people say, no, you're too far away because you can see like the edge of some continents. I'm like, look, here's high altitude balloon shot, only 90,000 feet or so, where you can see the state of Florida and Georgia in one shot.
Exactly. It's all...
So, yeah, well, everybody in the community kind of gives their own little take. Like you're the one who kind of opened people's eyes to how they could fake stuff on the space station, and, with virtual reality. Right. And, I kind of focus more on the NASA images and photography and things like that. And everybody kind of brings their own thing. Your Russian vids shows the psyops.
Yeah, don't wear orange. If you watch Russian vids, don't wear that. You're part of Illuminati. If you told me that earlier.
I guarantee you, he doesn't have an orange shirt in his ward.
He probably doesn't have orange anything in his house. But he's a good brother, though. I love Russian vids. He has really endured a lot with all the trouble his channel's suffered through people trying to take him down and copyright strikes. So he's been really resilient. So hats off to him.
I finally had my copyright strike lifted off of my Apollo 11 press conference video.
How'd that get a copyright?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a public video. Everything that you share from NASA,
it should be.
You can redistribute.
It should be.
Oh yeah, it tells you it is. And somebody else uploaded it. It's because it was that one clip where the guy's interviewing Neil Armstrong. He's like, "Did you see the stars in the solar corona and all that?" And that clip, that guy, whoever it was, claimed that it was from his video. No, I actually shared like every awkward moment from the Apollo 11 post, the press conference after they got back, and Michael Collins' weird behavior. You can see him, shaking around and whispering to each other, all kind of weird.
Now, what
body? But
how can a government footage somebody copyright government interview? That don't make sense.
No. He claimed that it was the same part of the interview that he already did, but whatever. It took 30 days, and then they lifted the dispute. I said, this is stupid.
What a whiny baby. What a whiny baby.
I can go on, the NASA, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory channel, download those videos and re-upload them.
Yeah, I mean, they got guys
guys
hanging on wires. You can get Debunked NASA. NASA provides us everything we need to debunk them. Is that not true?
It is true.
And they don't care.
Everything that I show is not my opinion on how they fake it. It's all from NASA's own words.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you tell me the Himari or whatever that Japanese thing is? They claim Himari. They tell you the textures they use. We're looking at it's a model. It's a model. They tell you how they make it, and people think it's real.
But Well, the GOES satellite too. They said every single one is the blue marble map, and when they say blue marble, they mean the rectangular map that Rob Simmons was given, and he literally made it a globe. Did you see the video I uploaded where he actually was credited for making it into a globe? Which, I mean, the data he received was not globular in any way.
No,
it was rectangular data. It wasn't even strip data. I looked at the source files. It was literally a rectangle of clouds, a rectangle of land. He put them together, and he made it a sphere.
Right, and he said he used a round model, and they put a Mercator projection map around that, and they gave him strip data of clouds that he put on there, and
which could be taken from balloon footage, weather balloons.
Absolutely, right, exactly. And then he does the rest of Photoshop, and that is your Earth model. And NASA tells you this. That's why how did you pronounce it? Himari. Yeah. That they tell you how they do this, people, and you're not researching.
And I found recently that Himawari, as well as the GOES satellite images and Discover, what NASA calls EPIC, all of them are processed by the Discover supercomputer.
Yeah, EPIC fail. That's what that was.
And who runs the Discover computer? NASA's Center for Climate Simulation.
Yeah, so you load up your copy of Terrigen and boop bop the bam. We have picture Earth 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. So what they do is they take the blue marble that Rob Simmons made, and he just it's the only thing is the clouds are removed. So they got the globe. The globe's the same. They just add the Terminator line, the shadow of the Earth changing. They rotate it around, and they add current weather for whichever side is facing the viewer, and that's all they do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and NASA tells you all this. It's and you know, I got so many people on my channel. Well, these things is real. No, it's not real. Okay, they tell you how they make it. It's fake. Discover.
He admitted, and in my last video, he actually admitted that the Apollo images of Earth are also pasted over a black background.
They all are.
But this is a huge deal because we know that they did this with blue marble, and we've proven how, you know, if you run these photos through, you know, analysis, you can see where they've pasted it over backgrounds and whatnot. But having him say that the Apollo images of Earth are pasted on a black background, having him say that, he obviously don't care about his job, or like you said, they just don't care.
They don't care
what they say.
Don't care. They absolutely.
He's like, yeah, all those Apollo images, they pasted it over a black background.
Well, a year and a half ago, I was telling the flat earthers, some of the big flat earthers, I said, hey, NASA's feeding this stuff to us on purpose. And they go, no, they're just making mistakes. No, they can't be that stupid, man. Seriously.
No.
But now,
like, all you got to do is have a transparent background.
Yeah, 2 years later, I'm convinced they just don't care. That's because you guys, people, if you're brainwashed, and they know this, the guy going by on the wires, did you run that video too?
I didn't share it, but I've seen it. Yeah.
I have a guy tell me, well, he's exercising. Okay, so that's how you exercise. You hang a person on a hook, and he gets exercise.
No, I've seen them supposedly exercise on the space station. They have like a bicycle and stuff. That's not working out.
Yeah. You don't hang somebody on wire to exercise. The latest one posted on my channel was, he was carrying a utility belt. That's a utility belt he's hanging off of as he's floating through his space.
He was being carried. He wasn't carrying anything.
Yeah, he was being carried. Exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. Hey.
Did you see the one where the meteorite, the micrometeorite, hit the space station window, and it just like didn't even do anything to it? And I found a video from Jet Propulsion Laboratory with a guy saying that even a centimeter size, you know, micrometeor at the speeds they're supposed to be traveling is actually the equivalent of if it collided with a satellite, is the equivalent of a grenade exploding.
Right. The international.
And this thing hit a window. And
yeah, right.
It's just
remember the movie Gravity. Okay. They're traveling what?
60,000 mile an hour collision.
Yeah, right.
You know?
17,500 miles an hour. If you have space debris zipping around about 16 to 17,000 miles an hour, even a grain of sand that tiny collides at those speeds.
It's going to penetrate it. Yeah.
And here's the other thing. We know that the International Space Station is in a thermosphere, right? That's what they claim. Even so,
every satellite.
Those are superheated particles up there, just like the SR-71 that superheats in our atmosphere. That traveling that fast in a superheated particle partial vacuum would completely disintegrate and rip apart the International Space Station. Is that not correct?
Yeah, and what people forget is where they're supposed to be is it's not fully space yet. There's still particles. There's still somewhat of atmosphere, which means there's friction, which means these heated particles still cause friction on the metals, even though there's not as much particles there as there is below. It
would tear the International Space Station a new one. Pardon my language. It would.
And isn't it funny how when they've had all these solar flares since they've been up there, but they tell us if a solar flare happens, how dangerous it is on Earth. Like you could die from that. You could get cancer from the solar flare. Electricity's going to be wiped out. What happens if the electricity's wiped out on the space station?
I guess
they die. Well, they have no way to filter the carbon monoxide out of the air anymore.
No,
isn't it funny? They never bring them back. Like when a solar flare's coming up, like no, we're just going to leave them up there.
Well, they couldn't find their stuffed toys either. I mean, how would they see in the dark? Find the gorilla suit and the box of stuffed animals they have up there.
Yeah, I mean that just proves the point that they don't care about if they were really up there. You would bring them back during a solar flare if a solar flare was what they tell us it is.
Exactly. I mean, how?
It would wipe all the communications out. It would wipe the electricity. Even though they have a generator, it don't matter. It wouldn't work.
No.
Not to mention the fact that it would penetrate that aluminum hull or whatever it's made of.
It's a model. It's made out of plastic.
Plastic. They admit it's plastic. Yeah. I mean, they have to use.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the dilemma.
It's nickel.
That's the dilemma. Everything
aluminum,
lightweight.
Nickel. Anything that would have melted in the thermosphere long ago. Colliding with particles at 70,500 miles an hour.
Yeah. Apparently, water is actually one of the best things to use against radiation. Yeah, I've read a study where surrounding a craft. Obviously, I don't believe they're up there, but surrounding something with water, with a layer of water, is actually better and way less weight. Than which iron is one of the better radiation blockers. But of course, if you had a ship made of iron, you couldn't get it off the ground.
No, the tyranny of the rocket equation prevents that. Yeah,
if you make it heavy, basically it would be too heavy. In order to protect them from radiation, it would be too heavy, which means, okay, well, that means they're not protected. So, I mean, you can look at all kind of problems.
There's no radiation up there anyways. There's no thermosphere.
Yeah.
It's garbage, people. Just garbage.
So you can use your own words against them, and that's what, like you said, we've been trying to do for the longest time.
Well, we didn't go to the moon because Van Allen radiation bill said now state of Colorado says there's a shield wall up at the. It's a lie.
Well, there's way more reasons if we didn't go in that.
It is a lie. Nothing of the sort.
That's just how you get the common person to believe.
Right.
It's like here's what they said about radiation, and here's what they also said about how they can't get through the radiation. And that's enough to convince somebody. Okay, they probably didn't go, but that's not the real reason.
No, it's not. It's a bunch of it's nonsense. And that's the thing. We're using their lies to debunk their other lies, and that really is kind of stupid on our part, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes you got to use it against them.
Yeah, like the Earth's tilt 23.5 degrees to the sun at all times. If you do that on a model, the South Pole never gets sun. You ever check that out?
Yeah, because it stays on the same ecliptic plane and never goes above or below that plane. So,
I put that in Blender. I'm like, how's the South Pole get a 24-hour sun like this? It doesn't, because you can move the sun up or down. It doesn't matter. It won't hit that South Pole. And why is the equator dead center in the middle of the Earth and not tilted 23.5 degrees? It's not. They're lying. It's crazy.
Yeah. So if they show a sunlit area with a horizontal equator going across the middle, that's not accurate with the.
No, the heat index. If you go check out the Earth's heat index, it's right smack in the center, and the gradient out getting colder and colder to each pole. It's not sideways, 23.5 degrees. I mean, they're lying.
Yeah, and then of course you got the problem of you should have your clock should actually change. What is it, an hour and a half every month or something like that, or 12 hours every 6 months, so 6 hours every 3 months.
Yeah, the heliocentric model.
It is 3 hours every month and a half.
Heliocentric model is broken. Was it you I was talking with about gravity and the moon?
Oh yeah, 1/6. Yeah.
What was it?
Well, it's supposed to be.
When we talk about the tides, how the moon.
Oh, the moon.
Was that you?
The gravity from the moon is strong enough to affect the ocean, but
what?
It doesn't affect anything.
Why
else.
isn't it sucking cars off the street, man? I mean, it pulls trillions of gallons of ocean water. They say to form a balls. Nobody's taking.
What about the birds that are flying up, at higher altitudes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean. It's not possible. The moon would have pulled itself in the Atlantic Ocean a long time ago if it was the moon causing tides. It's just totally ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
the IS.
It doesn't affect any other body of water or any other body at all.
Does it?
Let alone a body of water.
Doesn't move a hair on your head, but it affects salt water.
It must be the salt.
Yeah. Well, the other theory is kind of like an electrogravity because salt conducts electricity. And the moon contracts the electrically the salt contracts the salt water, which brings the salt water in, binds it into a tighter molecule, which in effect pulls the shore. That's a theory. That's one theory. Makes more sense than the gravity one. I'll just say that.
Yeah, which you also have the problem of if the moon's gravity is really that strong, then you have the other problem with the Earth's gravity and the moon's gravity together. So if they're saying now that the Earth and the moon basically formed from a collision,
right. It would be.
So at the point of collision and the Earth's gravity, shouldn't the moon be a lot closer after billions of years?
One would think. Like I said, it
should have already. Yeah, if we collided, and the moon's going at 2,000 miles an hour right now, 230,000 miles away, and it can't escape Earth's gravity. But you can imagine after the collision that it should have been going much faster and either escaped all the way out and not had a moon, or have from the collision should have been stuck really close together.
Exactly.
But you don't see that. And of course, there's also no asteroid belt really. Is there? They don't even claim there is around the Earth, which there should be if there was a collision, right?
Should have been. Yeah. Here's the thing.
All they say is that there's micrometeors orbiting, but not like an asteroid belt. But there should be one that happened. Right.
Here's the thing. The ISS is under what? 90% of Earth's gravity, right? It's falling at 4.5 meters a second. Earth's gravity's rate is 8.9 meters per 9.9 meters a second squared. Okay, so I don't know how they get that linear equation. Like if we're under 8.9 meters a second squared, how's the ISS all the way only at 249 miles, 4.5 falling at 4.5 seconds? I don't understand that gravity. Maybe it's not linear. Maybe it's different. But the ISS is only under 90% of Earth's gravity, right? If that equation is linear to the moon, then the moon is actually under 0% of Earth's gravity. But then they have the Hill sphere. They talk about the Hill sphere. That's Earth's gravity extending way out millions of miles beyond. But then the ISS should be under almost 100% of Earth's gravity if that's the case. None of their sciences make sense, though.
Isn't it funny how when you're when you're approaching something, they say it accelerates you. When you're leaving something, they say it decelerates you. So, like from the Apollo missions, they're like, yeah, they went to the moon, and after so many hours, the Earth's gravity was making them slow down. They were going like 25,000 miles an hour, but by the time they got to the moon, they were only going 2,000 miles an hour because of the Earth's gravity. But at the same time, they'll tell you that they'll use these slingshot maneuvers to speed craft up to over 60,000 miles an hour.
Right, and so for those who don't know, a slingshot maneuver is using another body that has gravity to zip around and change direction. That's what they call slingshot. And
yeah, but that's what they do. They say all the missions to Mars, 65,000 miles an hour. And did you see the mission they got going into the sun? That's going to be it's actually going to be going faster than we're supposed to be going around the Milky Way, over 500,000 miles an hour. And
my question to that is, what engine did they use to push something 66,000 miles an hour? When did that technology?
Here's what they'll say. They'll say once you get in space, you can just constantly accelerate. But also they'll tell you the Earth's gravity pulls you back and slows you down at the same time.
No, you can't, because even if you get away from Earth's gravity, you've got the sun. So maybe the sun's sucking it. I don't know. I don't know how they're explaining this.
Well, shouldn't the moon pull you towards it if it pulls the ocean?
Well, the moon only has gravity if it's an ocean. Outside of that, moon doesn't have gravity. That's science. Yeah, that's science.
I wonder what happened if they should drop some water outside the space station and see if the moon pulls it up.
Yeah, well, that's why we have no satellites, people. They're all stuck to the moon, man. It'd have to be. I mean, it sucks ocean water up. My God, we have nothing that pushes an object 17,500 miles an hour, 66,000 miles an hour. That is science fiction. Okay, that's all make believe. We have nothing to propel an object at those speeds. That is.
Yeah, but that's this mission going into the sun, which they say it's not actually going to go into the sun, but the sun's atmosphere, which is over 10,000 degrees. So I'm wondering, are they going to say, are these actually have to be heated particles, or are they going to say, oh, it's the vacuum of space, so the particles aren't close enough to transfer heat, or what the excuse is going to be, or how this thing could go so close to something so hot and transmit data back.
I'm sure they'll.
Or not melt.
I'm sure they'll.
But it's made of aluminum.
Right.
It's made of something that melts at a really low melting point. And yeah, it's not. They'll probably get the whole thing back intact.
They'll come up with something that's.
It'll come back. They'll land it like SpaceX.
Right, and NASA fanboys will believe it. Oh, that's amazing, and And we already know the deal, but it's about over. Math Powerland, back to the original topic, there's a big sign, Research Flat Earth in Philadelphia, being seen by probably thousands and thousands of people. We get more and more of these signs up. It's a matter of time the government's going to change the narratives. We do have a bill in Congress to effectively eliminate the idea or need for satellites. They're already planning for this. So just anyways, say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
ArcherSage, everyone. And I'm going to put up a few clips of Karlee Sunshine driving out to Philadelphia to photograph this sign, Research Flat Earth. It is amazing. And we're going to get more and more stuff like this out there. And once you do, more and more people are going to realize that we do not live on a spinning ball. This is Mike. Like and subscribe. Do it now. Do what you're told. And I appreciate that. God bless.
Greetings, Flat Earth family. As you can see, I'm on another adventure. Some really big news dropped last night. I was listening to Infinite Plane Society, or as many of us know him as IPS, in one of his live chats. They have been raising money through donations and sponsors and super chats and the like, and they have been able to raise enough money to put up a 60-foot wide by 20-foot high billboard that says Research Flat Earth. Perfect spot. I was able to park in here and I can see the billboard just perfectly. A little sketchy trying to get back here, but it's just, there it is. There it is again. Amazing. Well done. Well done. Love it. Definitely worth the trip. I'm going to continue to take pictures and video log a little bit. Put this all together into a video later. Thank you guys for riding along with me. I'm going to be on a natural high the whole way home. Just amazing.